Welcome back to Petrograd in 1916. This is Let's Break History, the final days of Grigory Rasputin.
I shall go to Alexandrov Market and discuss with this Lazover his involvement in this plot. Dr. Lazover!
Purishkevich, he asked me how to handle potassium cyanide. They were asking how it could be used to poison a man either through food or through drink. I am ashamed that I helped them.
I think I'm gonna go to the Winter Palace.
So you go around trying to listen in on conversations and things, but you don't really pick up anything. Simoniko tracks you down and says, "Oh, my love, I have done what you asked, and I have talked to Komisarov and made it very clear that he shall never do anything to hurt your father."
Oh, you beautiful man. Thank you so much.
I can go next.
So you're at the newspaper.
I'm just gonna snoop around.
Unfortunately, your snooping around doesn't turn up as much as it did yesterday.
I'm heading to Rasputin's apartment. I'm going to try to talk to Rasputin. This Purishkevich fellow doesn't really like you so much, and maybe trying to do something to you at your apartment soon, I don't know. My wife is so hard at work around Yusupov Palace getting Christmas ready.
I shall attend your party. This sounds like a good time.
Protopopov sits there and he's stroking his beard, just sort of mulling on things. He goes, Christmas party, Christmas party, Christmas party!
And now, let's return to Let's Break History.
Alright, well, so I'm going to move us to December 8th, 1916. So it sounds you've had quite a bit of discussion. You have various options. You could go to the police, or you could send Anna to talk to the Empress. And I think you have pretty well laid out what the pros and cons of each approach are. So where do you want to head for the day?
Alright, so if someone else would like to take their believed conspirators and plot to the police, that's on them. But we only have 4 shots, and I'm going to spend my day at Yusupov Palace, making sure there are no poisons or any bad things going around there. I'll be very good, and while I'm at it, I will also be putting on final touches.
Okay, yeah, if you want to sort of run interference, as it were, at Yusupov Palace, just in case there's some sort of malefactory going on, that's
so,
a fine
I do not want to I do not want to go to Zarina if somebody else is already going to Palace. We cannot afford to lose 2 of the shot in the same day if we all got wrong. So is it better for Anna to go to Zarina, or is it better to go to police?
I think we can save the Tsarina, and I can go to the police, because I think I have the 3rd conspirator.
But why are we using both shots in the same day?
No, I don't think we should.
What's
I think
the
we should
benefit?
do something else. Like, I think that the only report that we should use today is mine at the police department, because I'm the one who's, like, gung-ho about it.
Okay.
I support that.
All right, so Protopopov can head to the police department, and then the other 2 of you could just, continue the investigation if you wanted.
Okay. I'm gonna go to my apartment. Keep an eye on there, just in case.
And then, Virubova, where are you going to go today?
I'll go to Winter Palace.
Okay, cool.
So before we do this, as we are all, breaking huddle at the Czarevetsky garden, I turn to Maria and say, find out from your father if he is going to any other Christmas parties for certain this year. I fear for his life during this festive season.
I surely will.
I shout back, "It's not even festive season yet. I am ahead of curve." Western Christmas party.
All right. So, Anna, where are you going to go for the day?
Winter Palace.
Oh, Winter Palace. Okay. So, where do you want to start for the day? It seems like you could start anywhere functionally. If you make your report to the police, you won't know if it's correct or not until the end of the day.
Ah, interesting. Okay.
Because when you do tell the police something, they will send out police people and, investigate and try to confirm the details that you've given them, and then you'll know at the end of the day whether or not they were able to confirm those details.
Yeah, can we do the police report last for the drama?
I love drama. Okay. Sure. So who wants to go first then?
I can go first.
Okay. So we're at Rasputin's apartment. Rasputin is spending the day at Yusupov Palace. Thanks to the enticings of beautiful women. So let me see here who will be at the apartment today. So Andronikov and Pakadze are here, as well as Semenovich are here. And then, of course, you can snoop around if you prefer. Are you there, Amanda?
Yeah, hold on a minute. I'm having some technical difficulties.
Oh, okay.
Why don't I go first then? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think...
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, I'm at Winter Palace.
Mm-hmm. And at the Winter Palace, we have Samuel Horace there, as well as Dmitry Pavlovich, though he seems to be on his way out. So what would you like to say?
I want to talk to him.
To Pavlovich?
Yes.
Okay.
I've never talked to him, right? Yes. No, I have not. Okay.
So you accost him on his way out of the Winter Palace, and he says, hello, Verbova. It's good to see you. I'm on my way to Christmas party. It's strange Christmas party, though. Something a bit odd about it. Weird gift exchange, wrong time of year.
Would like to have a personal meeting with you. When will be the good time?
Well, depending on what you have to say, I could talk to you now.
I'd rather know where you will be tomorrow.
Give me a persuade roll.
So bad.
All right, so yeah, you got a 9 there. All right. He says, I'm not exactly sure where I'll be tomorrow. Perhaps I get too drunk at the Christmas party and I have to spend the day at home. We'll see.
Yes. In that case, I want to confront you with some information that I have gathered, which is very disturbing.
Oh, yes?
You have been plotting a very disastrous action that could put this country in a very big trouble.
All right, give me a perceive roll.
So that's a 14.
All right, he's clearly on edge right now and wants to get away, but he looks you in the eyes and he says, do not meddle in affairs you do not understand. There are sometimes a man sees what needs to be done and he does it. And he will not like what he does, but he does it anyway.
So the consequences of this? If it doesn't go through, what's going to be your fate?
My fate will be decided by my countrymen.
I let him go and then look at, what's the other person there?
Samuel Horace is here as well.
I notice whether he's like looking at, paying attention to our conversation or not.
Give me another perceive roll.
That's a 10. You can't tell where his attention is focused right now.
What a bad roll. Okay, I guess I'm done.
All right. So we'll go next on to John. You're at the Yusupov Palace, and the guests haven't arrived yet. They're probably going to come sometime in the evening. But Grigory Rasputin has arrived early. And so he's here, and then in addition to him, there's actually no other people of interest at your place today. So what would you like to do?
Okay, so there's not the usual host of people like Oswald, or it's just Rasputin, and then investigating around the Yusupov.
Yeah, and if you wanted to make some attempt to sort of protect Rasputin from potential poisoning attempts, you could use your major action to do that.
So before, did I use a minor action to talk to Rasputin, or?
That's correct.
So I'm going to, I think, try to talk to Rasputin first, and then do some extra preparations around the food stuffs that'll be laid out.
Okay, cool. So what do you want to say? He says, I'm a bit early, but I can never resist
early.
Good wine and good company.
Oh, good. No, it's no imposition at all or anything. I don't mind the earliness at all.
Wait,
you,
give me a persuade
where's...
roll to hide
Oh, God damn it.
angry that he came too early.
5.
Oh no.
Oh, I see that I am a bit of an imposition. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I apologize. This is my fault. No. You can make yourself comfortable. My wife, my beautiful wife Irina, who I love so much, never strayed from. She is out riding the horses. Maybe you could, you could stay in here. You could go for a pleasant stroll around the grounds. But I will be putting last-minute touches on everything, making sure all your favorite foods and wines are here. You'll know. You can just leave your white elephant gift near the tree. Where is your gift?
He has a gift. It's is it okay if I tell you what's inside, or do you want?
Oh, no! Don't spoil surprise.
All right. Well,
ruin the exchange.
It is not shitty this year.
It is what?
I said it's not shitty this year.
Oh, not shitty. Oh. I thought you were going to say not chipped beef. That is also good. All right. Well, I will have servants perform some kind of entertainment. If you prefer to stay inside, I think they know some Western carols, and I will be back in the kitchen like good host, and then all of the best wives, including mine, will be here. So, bye, Raspy.
Goodbye. Do svidaniya.
Do svidaniya.
All right, and so I guess for your preparations, you can just roll an investigate roll to just see if anything untoward you can intercept.
19.
So you've really got your eye on stuff so far, and I'll let you know if you encounter anything at the end of the day. So let's go back to Rasputin's apartment if we can. Amanda, are you there?
I am here.
Okay.
My apologies.
Oh, no worries. Seems like you got it fixed.
I hope so.
All right. So at the apartment today, there's Mikhail Andronikov, Simoniko Pokansi, and Aaron Simonovich. And you can also snoop around if you prefer.
Yeah, snoop around a little bit.
Okay, give me an investigate roll.
Fingers crossed. Oh, yeah.
Nice, that's a 13.
So you look around and you find that there's a handful of anonymous letters, and they're all threatening death upon your father in various ways.
Oh, no. Can I look at them more in depth and see if there's anything specific about a poisoning?
Yeah, so none of them mention poison. One of them mentions splitting your father's penis in half and then splitting the rest of him along that line.
Oh God, I don't want to hear about my father's penis.
Another one involves him being hanged from the neck until dead and then left out for the crows. And then another involves him being thrown into the river, weighed down by chains so that no one will ever find his body.
Oh, well, none of these are pleasant things. Okay, so I guess now I only have a minor action left?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that might be it for you, unless you can think of something else you'd like to do.
So I probably can't go and snoop at the secretary's schedule and see what my father has planned.
I would like you to do that with your minor action. Since you're at the apartment, you might be able to peek at where your dad will be the next day. Go ahead and roll and investigate for me again.
That's an 11.
All right.
Yeah, so you will know where your father will be tomorrow. And I'll let you know that at the end of the day. All right.
All right.
So finally, drama. So we head to the police department where Alexander Protopopov intends to make an accusation. So you see Beletsky in his office. He's just distressedly smoking a cigar, and you see that there's just several other cigars on the table next to him that have been spent. And he looks up and he says, "So what do you want?"
And I say, "I believe I have rooted it out. I am here to report a vast conspiracy to commit murder upon the life of Grigory Rasputin.
It is a very serious accusation. Who is involved?
It is, there are three main conspirators. One, Dmitry Pavlovich, one, Vasily Maklakov, and one, Vladimir Puriskevich. All three of them enemies of Rasputin, hating his influence in court, and designing to poison him by cyanide at Yusupov Palace tonight.
Well, isn't that exciting? I bet you're wondering if Protopopov is onto something or if he just hates Christmas. But first, I'm here to ask for you to support the podcast. The first thing you can do is give our podcast a review. That's free. You can also go to patreon.com/letsbreakhistory and sign up for as little as $2 per month. That's almost free. You could also buy a t-shirt, a sticker, or any of our other merchandise at our store on Redbubble. That's definitely not free. You can find a link to our store at burningtaverngames.com. Regardless of how you choose to support us, we're just happy that you're listening. Thank you from me and from everyone else who helped put this podcast together.
That is very serious accusation. I will send my agents to Yusupov Palace immediately.
Thank you, my good man.
So he stands up, he starts shouting orders to the police, and a few of them are surprised at Beletsky's energy. He doesn't seem to have left this building in a long time, but he puts on his coat, and he's ready to go. They all rush over to the Yusupov Palace, and by the time they get there, it's late in the evening. You head there, and you find that all the guests for this Christmas party are in the upstairs having a good time, except for Grigory Rasputin, who you heard went to the basement with a handful of other people. You rush downstairs to find him in the company of none other than Felix Yusupov, Dmitry Pavlovich, and Vladimir Purishkevich. Congratulations! You just broke history! Rasputin lives another day. Perhaps with his advice, the Tsar will finally consider the plight of the commoner in Russia and work to alleviate the harsh circumstances that are leading to revolution. Perhaps someone else will kill him tomorrow. But, Prince Yusupov, what do you have to say for yourself?
I would have gotten away for it too, if it wasn't for you killing the spirit of Western Christmas.
So yes, you've uncovered the plot.
The Tsarina Alexandra pushes for Yusupov, Purishkevich, Pavlovich, and their other conspirators to be punished harshly, but the Tsar chooses leniency, fearful of undermining his support among the Russian nobility, which already hangs by a thread. As for the rest of you, what will you do now? Let's hear briefly first from Alexander Protopopov.
Alexander Protopopov, retires to his office in the Winter Palace and ends up spending that first night there. He's had a very stressful week, and he just, sits in his chair, talking to the bookcases and having a restful evening, ostensibly alone, although he does not feel so.
Okay. And then how about Maria Rasputina? What's she going to do?
She is going to spend time with her father and appreciate that he's still alive.
And what about Anna Virolova?
She goes to talk to Zarina and informs her that the day may be saved for today, but we cannot be very comfortable. We have to start thinking what comes ahead of us in the future.
All right. Well, everybody,
that's our game. You uncovered the plot, but you didn't realize just how nefarious your supposed ally Felix Yusupov really was.
So wait, do I get any imaginary points for the third person not being uncovered?
Actually, so Maklakov was one of the conspirators.
Oh, okay, so that counts.
Yeah. Otherwise, I would not have had them win the game here.
So I see. So so I was right when I said one of us could be a killer.
So John, did you know that your character was in on the plot the whole time?
Yeah. So Pete, can I just summarize what was on my sheet?
Please, dish.
Okay, so my goal was to lure Rasputin to my house by saying that he should meet my wife, Irina, who is a famously beautiful Russian aristocrat. Little does she know that she was away in the Crimea this whole time. I begged her to return to take part in my plan, but she will not. So once there, I had to feed...
Pause real quick. You might remember somebody mentioning that Irina was in the Crimea earlier in the game. I forget who heard that, but I did mention that.
I did.
No one noticed that Yusupov was promising that to Rasputin.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
I totally missed that. I thought he was just like dicking around, like he didn't actually know.
But continue, John.
Disclosed. So once there, I was supposed to feed him poisoned cakes and wine. So you guys got the Madeira part of it. So I had to obtain the poison potassium cyanide from Vasily Maklikov. So I lucked out by being able to meet him on the first day, where like I had like secret actions that just happened if I went to certain places or talks to certain people.
Oh.
So the first of just talking to Maklikov, I got the poison from him. And then I knew of a doctor, one Stanislaw Lazaver, who might have helped me safely administer it. So I had to talk to Lazaver to figure out how to actually dose the poison.
So sneaky.
Yeah, that's
And
so cool.
Once Rasputin had been poisoned, me and my allies, Dmitry Pavlovich, my soft, beautiful horse boy, Sergei Sukhotin, the one who you did not identify, who was the soldier that I met at Warsaw Station, and then Vladimir Perskevich, who you did identify, will drive the body to a hole in the ice on the Malaya Nevka River, weigh him down with chains, and throw him in. And I wanted to accomplish it sometime in mid-December, so... What actual day was it, Peter, that he died?
He died on December 16th.
16th. So I would have been like 8 or...
No, I like that.
Yeah, like 8 days early.
Frankly, I'm shocked at how quickly you were able to get those things done.
I nearly did it. If like...
Yeah, you guys were... this was the last possible day for you.
Yeah, like we were really close to not doing this.
That little detail about the Christmas party is what did...
Jesus.
Because, yeah, if I hadn't mentioned Christmas party, I don't think you would have pieced the location together.
Yeah, I don't think we would have gotten
that. It was
that.
still a joke. I wasn't really... Yeah, I was
well,
still...
I had to figure out, like, a justification to get him to my palace beyond just, like, my wife being there. So I was trying to do, like, this thing of just getting a bunch of people to show up to my palace for a reason.
Oh, yeah, you did a great job burying the lead. Like, when I was delivering the report, I was not 100% confident that this was even happening. I was like, this is like, I gotta take this shot, you know, but...
Yeah.
That was a good gut feeling.
Yeah. So I had to spend at least 2 days at my palace, once after obtaining poison, and then the other time just within 2 days of the murder to prepare the murder scene, and then arrange for Rasputin to visit the palace within 2 days of the preparations.
That's so cool. I'm super proud of all of us. That was fun.
We're so obsessed with your party.
I know.
This went really, really well, I think. Are you interested in hearing how it actually went down?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It did not take place at a Christmas party because it was not Orthodox Christmas.
No, you definitely broke history in that way. But you did lure Rasputin to your apartment with the promise of meeting your wife, and then had him wait in the basement while you said she was upstairs having a party. And then...
I got the party part right.
That's right. So, in reality, it's pretty likely that Lazarus got cold feet and actually did something to prevent the cyanide from working, because Rasputin was able to eat an ungodly amount of the cyanide and didn't die. So either he had godlike physical constitution and just could not be poisoned to death, or there was something else going on and the poison didn't work for some reason. But after he had eaten a whole bunch of cakes and drunk a whole bunch of Madeira and was still alive, Yusupov or somebody. It's not clear from the accounts because there are variable accounts of what happened, but it seems likely that Yusupov shot Rasputin a handful of times and then went upstairs to check in with the other conspirators, who then set about making ready. One of them disguised themselves as Rasputin and left in order to make people think that Rasputin left the party alive. And then the others found that Rasputin was actually still alive after being shot a few times. And then one more shot was fired at point-blank range directly into his head, which is likely what actually killed him. And it's not really clear who fired that last shot. Different people claim to have done it. And some people think it was actually Oswald Rayner, though I don't think the evidence for that is very strong. And then they took his body to the river, and even though they planned to throw him in the river and weigh him down with chains, they forgot. So his body was actually very quickly found, especially since they didn't throw all of him into the river. One of his boots got left on shore, and it was spotted by somebody the next day. So within a day, the news of the murder and who did it got to the Tsarina, and Yusupov and Pavlovich were sort of insulated from any real consequences by their wealth and power, and were just exiled essentially instead of actually punished. And they were exiled to their extremely lavish properties elsewhere.
And then that was history.
Yeah. Ain't that just the way?
So what was Rasputin going to bring as a white elephant gift?
He was going to bring his own signed copy of the Bible.
Yes, everybody's favorite gift, a signed Bible.
Bible.
He could have also brought a signed copy of one of his books, because he actually was an author after a fashion. He was semi-literate, but with the help of some people, he published some of his musings throughout his life in various forms.
So was he really able to do miracles, or was it just a legend?
Well, the evidence of miracles is pretty shoddy. However, the Russian Orthodox Church, there's a movement within the church to have him canonized. And part of the canonization process is proof of miracles happening. On a personal note, I don't believe that can happen. So I don't think it's true. But at the very least, he did have a very good connection with the Tsarevich, Alexei, which is the Tsarina Alexandra's son, who was a hemophiliac. And at times where doctors failed to help Alexei when he was bleeding profusely, Rasputin would come in at the Tsarina's request, and he would pray over the child, and at those times the child did recover. So maybe Rasputin got lucky. Maybe his presence just gave some sort of, psychological benefit that made the difference, or it could have been actual miracles. But he there's no question that he helped the royal family deal with a very difficult physical condition that their child had.
Oh.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. Thanks for putting this together, Pete.
Well, thank you all for playing. This has been a really good time. I'm surprised at how well it went, actually.
Yusupov was able to convince Grigory on his first try to go to the Yusupov Palace.
Yeah, that was a luckle.
Yeah, John was texting me on the side OMG, I'm gonna win.
I texted an OMG, my white elephant gift is going to be murder.
Yeah, so I should actually screenshot that text exchange and then share it when I ultimately release the final episode of this podcast.
Yes.
But,
yeah, so thanks, everybody. And to all our listeners out there who made it through Series 1, thank you for tuning in. It's been a blast making this, and I hope you had a good time listening. That's a wrap on Series 1 of Let's Break History. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please consider supporting us by going to patreon.com/letsbreakhistory. A lot of time and effort goes into researching, developing, playtesting, recording, and producing the podcast, and even $2 per month from our subscribers means a lot. All our patrons get early access to episodes of the podcast as well as historian status in our Discord server. Since this is our last episode of Series 1, I want to spend a little time thanking a bunch of people. First and foremost, I want to thank John Snaufer, Amanda Hersey, Dylan Orshevsky, and Manuka Bond. I am so happy to have had them as the cast for Series 1. Playing with them made this a very fun project. I also want to thank Douglas Smith, author of Rasputin, Faith, Power, and the Twilight of the Romanovs. If you want to know more about Rasputin, I cannot recommend his book highly enough. It was my primary resource in putting this podcast together. I also want to thank my playtesters. I ran this scenario a few times with quite a few different people, and it's their suggestions that turned my clunky Clue and D&D mashup into the game that we ended up playing. Thank you so much to all of you. I hope that most or all of you will end up playing in recorded sessions for future series of the podcast. I also want to thank Rita Feinstein for drawing all the characters and consulting with me on the design of the Let's Break History artwork. Thanks also for putting up with me throughout this whole process, especially when I kick you out of our living room so I can record. Rita will be appearing in Series 2 of the podcast, so stay tuned for that. If you want some custom artwork from Rita, subscribe to our Patreon at the History Obliterator level, and she will draw a character of your choice from the podcast. Finally, I know I've said this a lot already, but thank you for listening. We all worked on this podcast in the hopes that you would take the time to listen, and you did. Remember, folks, sometimes history does not quite repeat itself. See you for the next series, The Salem Witch Trials.